Welcome to It's All About You, a program that keeps you connected to all the exciting events, services, and businesses the City of Urbana has to offer.
We're your hosts, Sterling Bowman and Natalie Marquez.
Later in the show, we'll talk with Kevin Garcia about Bike Month and Historic Preservation Month in our community.
We're also going to visit the Urbana Park District's Lake House and chat with the City of Urbana's Building Inspector Patrick Bolger.
But first, we're here at Bluebird Boutique with Angie Armstrong. Angie, thanks for having us to the boutique today.
Thank you for coming.
I have to say, the moment I walked in, I think I could probably spend the rest of the day here. So cancel all the rest of the interviews, and like I told Sterling, I think I just want to try on all the clothes. This is amazing, and your use of the space from what it had been before is just awesome. Tell us about you and how you came to find this space.
Okay. Well, thank you again. And I hear that a lot. A lot of women come in and say they just feel very welcome in here. It has a welcoming vibe, so that's great to hear. I don't know, I just had some kind of notion trying to convince me that I needed to open up my own store. And I've always wanted to own my own store. And I kept asking my husband, please, can I do this? What do you think? And I was driving around and I saw a for rent sign in the window. And so, believe it or not, I actually opened the door. It was unlocked, so I came in and I scoped it out. And so then I called him and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to show you this place. It's so cute, it's perfect, and I really think we could do some magical stuff in this building.
Yes.
And so we connected with a realtor. We came in and actually officially looked at it.
Right.
And he supported me and said, okay, go for it. So we got possession February 1st and started painting and doing some remodeling and just making it more of a boutique atmosphere. And had our grand opening April 1st.
Wonderful.
Very nice. Now I understand the name Bluebird Boutique. You have lowercase letters, and you said that was purpose. Yeah. So what was the meaning behind that?
I don't know. I like the lowercase b's. I didn't want it to be I don't know. I don't have an answer for
It's
that.
just kind of a quirk of the store kind of thing.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. The actual name is after my deceased father.
Okay.
When he died, my mom had prayed for a bluebird to come and just let her know that he was okay. He passed away suddenly. And so from then on out, she would sign our cards, my sister and I's cards and family cards. Love, Mom, and Bluebird.
Okay.
And so we've always referred to my dad as the Bluebird. And when we were thinking of a name, actually my husband Troy is the one that thought of it. And I was like, oh my God, that's it, Bluebird. It has to be Bluebird Boutique. How could I go wrong? I've got my dad on my side.
Of course, yeah.
So from then on out, it just was Bluebird.
Wow.
And I actually have a little small bluebird at the counter when you check out, and it's a bluebird of happiness, and I will always have them. I will always carry them. And if you know someone that's down and out and feeling sad, you can buy them a little bluebird with a little card that says, this is a bluebird of happiness. It's a pocket token, and you put it in your wallet or pocket and know that the bluebird's there to bring you happiness.
Oh, very nice.
So,
I love that. What a touching story, and such meaning behind the store that I can clearly see you've put a lot of work and effort and sweat into. You said that there were a few unique uses for this space before you came here, and you've done a lot of painting and even some updating to the flooring a little bit. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So when we first came in, we had found out that it had been a law office, and it was painted some pretty wild colors. It was yellow, peach, green, and like an orangey color, and brown. So immediately I knew I wanted to paint it a light blue or something, because I knew the name when we first got in here. So my husband came in and started leveling out this floor that we're currently in, the shoe room floor. It's concrete, and he had to put several layers of concrete and fix it and smooth it out. And then we also have a pump in here because it originally was a gas station. So, and we could not get the pump out. So I had this genius idea of putting a pole out of it and making shelves to display the shoes on.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then he made my checkout counter. He made my dressing room. We've got barn siding from a barn that fell over. We bought some siding, cleaned it up, and we put it up. And believe it or not, that's what we argued about the most when we were doing this, was which piece would go next.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, if that's what we can argue about, then, we'll be all right. And then my loft is storage, and he built the barn siding up there as well, too.
Well,
So it's
it
pretty
looks
handy.
It looks great, and I know I've focused a couple questions on the actual building, but tell us about what's inside of it. All of these items are very cute and reasonably priced. They're very accessible.
Yeah, that's one thing I like to pride myself on, is I have an array of clothes for ages high school all the way up to
Any age.
any age, really. Yeah, my mom loves the clothes in here, and high school girls, and college girls, and friends my age as well. And we have size small all the way up to 3X as well. So we're excited to be able to carry that as well. But I have shoes, handbags, jewelry, bath line, and just pants, shorts, rompers, dresses, an array of an assortment of clothing. And I am happy that I can choose the clothes that I have out here on the floor with decent prices. So someone can come in and get a nice shirt for the evening and still be able to go out and have fun for the evening.
Very important.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So, what are the hours of the store?
So I'm closed Sundays and Mondays. Those are my family days and time. I'm open 1 to 6 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Thursdays I'm open 1 to 7 is my late night. Fridays I'm open from 11 to 6, and Saturdays 10 to 4.
Okay, wow.
So here most of the time. I have hired a couple of employees, but for the most part they're very part-time as well.
Okay.
So you will mostly see me here, or my family. My family comes in and helps a little bit here and there too.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then, so if anybody wants to find out more information on the Bluebird Boutique, the store in general, do you have a website? Do you have a Facebook?
I do not have
social
a
media?
website, but I do have a Facebook.
Okay.
And I do have Instagram. Mind you, I'm not familiar with Instagram, so my high schooler had to show me how to do it. And then he was like, I'll do it, Mom, and then he kind of stopped doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely on Facebook, so
Okay.
Bluebird Boutique. On Facebook, you'll find me, just like us, or follow us, and you'll start seeing all the new things. I try to post new things that come in.
Okay.
I'll take a shot or a picture of it and post it so everyone can see.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, thank you for having us today and welcoming us into your lovely space. And I look forward to coming back on a shopping spree.
Good, good. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
All right.
Welcome back to It's All About You. We're here with Building Inspector Patrick Bolger. And can you just kind of give a little rundown of what you do at the city?
I'm the building inspector for the city of Urbana, so I process all of the residential and commercial projects, building or utility permits, sign permits, do the inspections and the permitting process for those.
Okay, perfect. And so, like, why would someone get a permit? Like, what is the purpose of a permit?
For most homeowners, the best reason to get a permit is not only is it an ordinance for the city of Urbana that you're required to, it helps to ensure that you're going to have a safe home for you, your family, or for anybody that's going to come visit your home. It's also going to help to protect the investment of your home as well, because you can ensure that the project was done in a safe manner to meet the minimum code standards and safety standards for the house itself.
Okay.
And speaking of all of those important reasons why you should get a permit, May is National Building Safety Month, so
Correct.
it's an appropriate time for us to be chatting with you, Patrick. So we're out front of a lovely home in Urbana, and with the warmer weather coming up, that kind of gets people excited, maybe a little bit motivated to do some projects on their home, or those things that they've been waiting all winter to fix. So what are some common updates or improvements that a homeowner would make right now that would require them to need to stop in and chat with you and the other staff at Building Safety?
Okay, the most common ones we get in the spring is typically a fence permit. A lot of people like to put in fences, decks, sheds. Some stuff that might be a little less common people be aware of is if you want to put in a swimming pool or a hot tub, those would actually require a permit. There would be, if you're going to have your water heater or your furnace replaced in your home, most people are going to hire a professional, but that does require a permit to make sure that it's installed safely. Other projects would be replacing of windows is one we get that a lot of people don't realize does require a permit. The main thing we're looking for there is to make sure that if you're replacing a window in a bedroom, that it's going to meet the egress requirements for safety, and that it's going to comply with the state's energy code requirements. One that we get a lot of phone calls for that doesn't necessarily require a permit is if you're going to be re-roofing your house. If you're not going to be replacing any of the decking, the plywood material, then it doesn't require a permit. But if you are, then you would need to. The best thing I could tell people is if you're not sure, just give us a call. We're always willing to talk to people and answer their questions. And when in doubt, just give us a call.
When someone's looking to get a permit, what exactly do they need to bring to you?
Okay. The first thing you need to do is figure out what it is you want to do to your house. Some of the information we need is a brief description of the work that you're wanting to perform, a site plan or a floor plan if you're doing stuff inside of your home. That would include all of the measurements. If you're doing something outside like a deck or a fence or maybe a shed, any type of installation like that, we need to know how big the actual construction is going to be and the distances from your property line. A lot of the information you can find on the city's website or on the county's website when it comes to with your lot. Inside, we would need the floor plan again with those measurements as critical information for us to be able to do a review. The more information that you provide us, the more information we could provide back to you to make sure that you don't have any of those pitfalls when you get halfway through the project and you have something you're not aware of.
Okay, and now is there anywhere on the website maybe that can will explain like everything, give people a reminder of things that need permits to replace or build or whatever?
The best way to navigate the website for that is at the top of the city's website. You'll see a section that says residents, and when you click on that, there's a section that's for permits itself.
Okay.
Under that are all the permits that the city would require for any type of project.
Okay.
And there's more information. There's even some more information on how to draw up your own site plans or floor plans. All of that stuff is also available on our website, 400 South Vine Street. You can come in, and there's printed forms if you don't have access to the internet or a computer.
Okay.
And real quick, Patrick, once a resident or a business comes in to file one of these applications to get a permit, that doesn't mean it's over, right? There's usually something to kind of
Correct.
Finish it at the end.
So whenever you apply for your permit and you go through the process and the city actually issues it, we'll contact you, you come in, you pay for it, you pick up the permit. On that information, it'll have what inspections are required. So typical project that most homeowners would do would just be a fence. In that case, you would call us when the fence is completed, we'd come out, inspect it, you installed it the way you said you were going to, and then we would final the permit and close it out until your next project. If you did a deck, there's more inspections involved in that, including the footing, the framing, and the actual final inspection again of that deck. So there is other steps after you get the permit that you need to make sure that you follow up on to close out the permit.
So asking questions is a good idea, and keeping an open line of communication just to make sure everything is
correct. You can never ask too many questions when it comes to the process. We're always more than willing to work with people as much as possible.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your time, Patrick, and for your service with the City of Urbana. And do we say Happy National Building Safety Month?
Yes, I think that's what you would say.
All right, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are back with It's All About You. We are at Crystal Lake Park in Urbana, joined by Janet from the Urbana Park District. Thanks for being on the program today.
It's my pleasure.
Always great to chat with you and catch up on what's new and what's happening at the Urbana Park District. And this is one of my favorite places in Urbana where we're at right now. Tell us a little bit about this location and what our residents and visitors can expect this month in May.
All right, we're at the Lake House in Crystal Lake Park. That's our full formal name. I like to always say the Lake House in Crystal Lake Park. It's not the boathouse. It's never the boathouse.
All right.
That's just my little pet peeve. But we do facility rentals here, and in May, the thing we start is our boat operation. So we do paddle boat rentals, we do canoe rentals, and they start at $7 for a canoe for half an hour, and they go up to $13 for 4 people on a paddle boat. So a lot of places only have paddle boats that can hold 2 people, but we can hold 4 people on a paddle boat. So it's pretty reasonable fun for a good summer afternoon.
Yes. great place to take the kids, make them paddle a whole lot,
Yeah.
wear them out.
Yeah.
I love it.
Sit on the back, get a little tour. And we do allow dogs on paddle boats too.
Very
We've had dogs, we've had parrots. We've never had a cat, but we have had a snake too. So
Wow.
we've had definitely pets go out on paddle boats.
I love it.
I
So-
challenge someone to bring a cat on a paddle boat.
So does this event usually get a pretty good turnout then?
Yeah, our weekends in May are actually very popular. It's before it gets really hot, you know, so the lake is pretty open. So it's, you know, when it's 95 degrees, that's when we want people to go to the Crystal Lake Park Family Aquatic Center. The lake is really more of a May thing. That's our busiest time is in May, actually. But we're open weekends only in May, and then once we get to June, we're open Thursday through Sunday. So we're open those days from 12 to 7.
Okay, very nice.
And beyond the paddle boats and the canoes, there's also opportunity to rent and use the space here at the lake house for all different reasons.
Oh yeah, it's a great spot. It's kind of small, so the inside space holds 50 people, but you can see the patio, and so you can rent the patio, and then we can seat up to 100 people. We've had some really fantastic DIY smaller weddings. It's a nice raw space. You can do lots of fun decorations and kind of make it your own, and it's a really reasonable spot as far as it's a good price point in between some of the bigger banquet rooms and doing it yourself at home. But weddings, rehearsal dinners, we do tons of bridal and baby showers. In the summer, we do lots of retirement and graduation parties. So, and then in the winter time, we actually have a really nice fireplace. So our staff will light the fire and man it for you and make it nice and cozy, and it's a really great little spot.
That's wonderful. So to learn more about rentals for the boats and for the lake house, where should we go for that?
Well, urbanaparks.org is our website, and then we also have a Lake House Facebook page, and we'll put our music acts up there as they get known. We the first and third Fridays of June, July, and August, we have our Folk and Roots Friday concerts.
Great.
That's a brown bag, bring your own lunch that we do with the CU Folk and Roots Festival. They're our sponsor for that, and it's we'll get anywhere from 80 to 120 people out on the patio and live music, and everyone brings their own lunch, and it's a great day.
That's awesome. We're gonna have to come back. For
Yeah, definitely. That'll be.
Yeah, we'd love to see you. Yeah.
Great. Well, there's other things happening in this area, some updates to the park and infrastructure, and you have a colleague here to tell us more about that today.
Yes.
So we will ask for Dana to join us, but thank you for filling us in and invite us back and tell us more about what's happening with Urbana Park District. We love you guys.
Yeah, and if you ever want to come out and do a segment from a boat, VCC was here and they actually filmed a whole video like out on the water, and we'd love to maybe you guys could have like a boat contest. We could have like a race.
I'm
good
gonna
to me.
win.
Oh, there you go. We'll do some paddle boat races. That'll be fun.
I like it.
All right.
I like it.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
idea.
All right, and now joining us is Dana. She has some more information on the Crystal Lake Park rehabilitation project. Would you like to explain some more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a very exciting thing that just went underway this year, back in February, part one, but it's going to go on for quite some time. We are doing a couple of things. We're managing the lake, and as you can see around us, maybe you'll notice it's a little lower than you might have expected it to be, and that is because they had to lower the lake level in order to do some dredging up at the north end of the park. They were taking out a bunch of sediment that had been filling up for about 30 years in the sediment trap at the north end of the lake. So it's been doing its job very well and collecting stuff, but it's time to clean it up. So they did that project, and concurrent with that, they also put in something on Broadway which will help us with future cleaning. They changed the way the lake can be lowered and raised, and it used to take water from the top of the lake out, but now they put something in so that it can come out from the bottom where all the maybe dirtier stuff is. So when they do have to change the level, they clean things, they're taking out the sediment as they go. So that's been parts 1 and 2, and then you'll notice that they're going to bring the water level back up, and the next steps are going to include everything from taking out some of these invasive shrubs and plants that you see growing up here and replacing them with natural landscapes that are more native to Illinois. So, and they're also going to focus on pollinators. So there'll be a lot more pollinators in the area. a lot more open views, a lot more that people can enjoy. And then we'll have some images that you can share with the viewers as we're talking here so they can see what our vision is for this space. So we're going to have a trail, not a trail, but a broader walk going in on Park Street this summer into the fall. So there's a lot happening. The pace of this is going to depend basically on funding. So if you are interested in seeing this project move faster, you can definitely donate to the Crystal Lake Park Management and Beautification Project and talk to our development manager there. But it's just going to be over a number of years. We're going to phase it all in. So you'll see things begin to grow and change shape here and draw more people and more trails and lots of great things.
Yeah, it sounds like quite an extensive project. Do you have like an estimated time where all this is supposed to be done, or is it kind of still just
it's
all
still,
just depending on the funding?
It is. It's depending on the funding and how long each phase takes. Some will take not hardly any time at all. They really expected the dredging to take longer than it did, and they went like a snap. But then some of the things may take longer than we expect, and that's kind of the nature of a big project like this. So that's why they're going to phase it in over a few years to a number of years, and people can enjoy the process and as well as help out with it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for the update on the project and all the things that we have to look forward to and ways that we can get involved so we can see it move along and enjoy it even more. We're back with It's All About You, and we are joined by Kevin Garcia from the City of Urbana's Community Development Department. Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
You've been on the program a few times before. You taught Sterling and I one time some bicycle safety rules on a tandem bike. That was a hoot.
That was.
And speaking of bicycles, May is a busy month for you, in part because of some of the projects you're involved with. It's Bike Month.
It is, yeah.
It's Historic Preservation Month.
That's correct.
Before I get too excited here, let's talk about the May Bike Month activities coming up.
Yeah, so there is a whole bunch of activities in May for Bike Month. There's two I'll talk about here, but you can find way more activities than I can talk about if you just Google CU Bike Month, or I think the website is cubikemonth.weebly.com or something like that.
Okay.
We'll put it on the screen.
Yes.
So on May 2nd is Bike to Work Day, and that's throughout Champaign-Urbana. There's 10 stations. They're welcome stations, so if you ride your bike to one of those stations, you'll get free coffee, snacks. A couple of them even have bike repair stations, so if your bike needs a little tune-up, there will be mechanics on hand to fix your bike. And so it's a free event. You can register through the website I talked about. They are taking donations, and those donations will go to an Earn a Bike program, which is this program where it teaches folks how to maintain bikes, ride them safely, and build. Essentially, you will build a bike, and then at the end of it, you'll have a bike that's all your own.
That's awesome.
And you've earned it.
Yeah.
Hence the name.
Great. It's a great program.
Yeah, and then on May 20th, we are leading a ride. Me and a couple of our other planners are leading a ride. There's a national, it's a national event, so there's like over 15 communities throughout the U.S. that are taking part in this bike ride, and it's geared towards beginning adult bicyclists. So if you're interested in riding, but you're a little unsure and you're an adult, we'll take you out on a ride that's going to be low speed, low stress, should be a lot of fun. We're going to go through Meadowbrook Park, out through Stone Creek and some other places, like along bike paths and bike lanes, and should be a lot of fun. That's on May 20th. And that event is called Life is a Cycle, and you can register for that online. If you register in advance, it's only $1.50.
That's a deal.
Yeah, so lifeisacycle.bike, because we're in that era where it's not just .com or .org. You can do whatever you want. So it's .bike.
All right.
And that should be a lot of fun. So all you need for that is a bike and a helmet, and we're good to go.
Very nice. So then when you're not dealing with everything bike related. You're
Yes.
also doing historic preservation.
That is
So
correct.
what exactly do we have going on for that this month?
Yeah, so for Preservation Month, there's 3 activities that are being put on by our Plan Commission members. The first one is on the 17th, and that is a lecture, and the topic of that is early 20th century houses, which are really interesting, and there's a lot of great examples in town, especially in the West Urbana neighborhood. So we're going to be talking about those houses, and they're really interesting because houses of that era sort of borrow from all different types of architectural styles, so they're really hard to categorize, but they're really cool.
Yeah.
So that lecture is about that. Then following up that lecture on that Saturday is going to be a tour through West Urbana to showcase some of those houses.
Okay.
So you sort of, we did this format last year where we do a lecture then followed by a tour. So you sort of, you get to learn and then you get to see. And
Okay.
it's really cool. And then the final thing we're doing is on the 24th, and that's going to be at the library in the archives. And this is similar to an event we did last year, which was how to research your old house. But this one's in the archives and it's hands-on. So you don't just get the lecture of here's how to do it, now go do it. You're getting the hands-on, here's how to do it, now let's all do it together.
Okay.
So find out when your house was built, who used to live there, maybe even find out if a famous architect designed it.
Okay.
So that should be really cool.
And now where can people find that information then?
You can go onto the City of Urbana's website. We have a featured story on there that will guide you to those events
Perfect.
and more information about those.
All right, well, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
May is a busy month for you, Kevin.
it really is.
Could there be anything else going on that you could share?
Yeah, I mean, there's, like I said, for Bike Month, there's tons of stuff going on. There's like a food ride, which takes place in the afternoon after the ride we're doing in the morning, and just a bunch of rides. There's Bike to School Day, which I think is the middle of the second week. I'd have to check on that, but just so much stuff going on. You find it all online, find it on the calendar. It'll be tons of fun.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing about all these great upcoming events this month in May and for making them happen here in Urbana.
Yeah.
Thank you.